Good afternoon, good evening. I don't know in which part of this world you're located right now. And welcome to this special occasion. We have tonight, as long as we have time difference, a big time difference. And we need to wait also for Professor Hubert Zhu, who is your supervisor.
Yes.
This is okay. There are 3 members in the committee: myself, Professor Kingsley, and Dr. Hubert. Okay, I suppose you already know that.
Yes.
It's open to public, so maybe there are going to be more people connected later on. I'm just saying a few things until we spend more time and start at 4 o'clock Central European time. But let's see, let's wait. So you have a presentation about this, right?
Yes.
Okay. So how's Singapore doing?
I'm in Thailand actually.
Oh, you're in Thailand.
Yes, yes.
Okay, okay. I thought you're staying in Singapore.
I'm from Singapore, but because now I live in Thailand.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yes. So Professor, how are you?
I hope that I'm okay so far.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, after what we've been through with the COVID and the pandemic situation and everything, it was a big problem for all of us anyway. But the online approach was quite helpful in this case.
Yeah.
So far, so good, let's say. Okay, let's try to be a bit optimistic, even though lots of things are taking place. Negative things, unfortunately. And usually the news and the media promote mainly the negatives instead of the positives. But anyway, it's part of our DNA, probably. Human beings, they like to hear all this sad news. But today we have a very special occasion, which is very pleasant. Maybe you're a bit stressful, maybe. Okay. I'll try to make you feel more, relaxed if possible. Okay. How much time it took you in general to complete your research and your thesis?
I think I took about 6 months. So
Okay.
I finished actually in I think December.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
For me, I try to do it like every month. I will spend some time maybe writing about 10 pages.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon.
Sorry, I was in classes until a little bit.
Okay.
Yes. So
first things first. So you're done with your classes now. You joined us. Okay.
Yes, yes. Well, there are always students around that want to. I'm in Bremen right now, and there are always students around that want to share experiences, talk, ask questions about the content.
Oh.
We have to spend that time with them.
This informal part of the academic environment is also important. Let's say equally important to the typical one, which is the lecturing and the classrooms.
Yes.
So you can hear a lot of things that you don't know in the classroom, and you're actually learning all these things, chatting and discussing with students. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So we have 5 more minutes to start.
So Demetrius, I trust that you are in charge of everything, right?
Keep your fingers crossed. Okay. All right. I can see Professor Kingsley if he is actually connected. Oh yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Hello, Jan. How are you?
Sorry about that. And greetings to you, Dimitrios.
Hi, Professor.
Hi. How are you?
Get some more light on the subject.
Okay.
Here we are.
Nice to be meeting all my professors for the last time.
Well, we can always keep in contact, so
yes,
it shouldn't be the last time at all, right?
Yes,
for the last
right.
academic type of, let's say,
Yes.
meeting. Okay. All right.
Hello, professors. Hello, Tan.
Hello, Doris.
Hi.
Hello. Hi.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm okay, thank you. I'm a bit nervous too. Yes, but just to say that when you need to do your private discussion, you will be dragged to a breakout room, so you can discuss everything in full privacy. And then you will come back to the meeting. So all the settings are already done for that. And in case of any help, Susan and Dagi is here for any technical issue. So don't worry, we will wait here for anything.
Okay. So since you've mentioned this, this means that we have to leave this meeting and we need to get into a new one.
Only for the breakout rooms. Yes.
Oh, okay.
You will be pulled for that. Yeah, to that.
Okay.
No problem. Thank you so much, everyone. And
Thank you
all
for
the
your
best.
support. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sounds good. All right. Okay. So I would like to welcome you all, since I decided to be the chair in this event. I would like to welcome you all in this event, which is very special for Mrs. Tan Yen, I suppose, since it's the last academic requirement to fulfill all the, what is needed actually for you to get your master's degree. So good luck on this. A few things about the process. So first of all, we'll give you about 20 minutes to present your thesis. Actually, the major things, conclusions, implications, this kind of stuff. Of course, depends on what you already prepared here in your presentation. And they're going to be, then the next stage, we're going to have some questions for you from, I suppose, all three of us, since we're the members of the committee. First is going to be Professor Kingsley or myself, and last is going to be, but not least, your supervisor, Dr. Hubert. Now, after finishing also the second stage, which are the Q&A session, then we need to discuss, which is the part that Mrs. Villalobos was mentioning. We need to discuss about the result of your presentation and your thesis, actually. Okay, I suppose you're familiar with the three major categories, which is pass with minor, revisions, major revisions, and fail. That's the grading of this. To announce you the result of your thesis, and also because it's an open, to public defense. I would like to kindly ask those who are going to attend this to remain silent during the process. And this is going to be an extra help for you, not to make too much noise and all this kind of stuff, because this will distract your your focus and what are you trying to present, and also how you're going to answer your question. The questions we're going to set for you later on. And then we end up by telling you the results of how you did in your thesis, and hopefully everything's going to be okay. I don't know if someone else would like to add something in this. At least these are the major bullet points in the defense procedure based on the EBU, let's say, standards. Okay, so.
Sorry, Professor, can I ask
please.
something?
Yes, please.
Yeah, because right now it's about 9 o'clock in Thailand, right? So maybe after my presentation and then we go through the questions, maybe could I not stay for the results?
Oh, okay. You're making this easier for us now. Anyway,
I know, because actually because my family's going to sleep, so I try to answer the questions.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, man, it makes sense. Okay, all right. Okay, all right. So are you ready for the presentation? All right, yes, I suppose you are. In case you want to ask the last minute question or something like that. All right, so you're going to have 20 minutes. We're not going to interrupt you during your presentation. And then we'll move on to the Q&A session after what you have to say and to, to explain to us what you did and how you did it. Okay. Okay, good luck. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor.
The floor is yours. Okay.
Okay, so I'm an MBA student of the European Business University of Luxembourg, EBU. So the study I did was on the succession transition of second generation family businesses, the challenges, solutions, as well as the impact of further education. So in chapter 1, I wrote about the introduction. So I give a background as well as what the research is on, as well as the overall objective of the study. So the background is on the challenges, the motivations, solutions during succession transition, and the impact of further education of second generation entrepreneurs, particularly in a country called Singapore in Asia. The research is done on 3 topics. Firstly is the motivations of joining the family business. Secondly, the major problems that the second generation face during transition, as well as lastly, the ameliorating solutions that was implemented. The overall objective of the study is to find out the best solutions, as well as the significance of further education in business for family firms. I would like to uncover largely hidden and sensitive information and soak the dynamics of the succession process, in addition to contribute academic knowledge for similar situations. Chapter 2 was on the literature review. So we looked at the existing review as well as the gap that the study is trying to close. So the existing review, there are 2 leadership frameworks that we included, and they are the Sternberg's Triarchic Theory of Intelligence by Hughes, Jeanette, and Curfey in 2002, and there's also the Leadership Qualities Model by Manning and Curtis in 2021. We also found out that, there are research been done that 70% of family businesses lose their success in the second generation. In Asia, there is a culture where there is no formal succession plan. And family firms have a choice between an external CEO, but many show an interest to pass on the legacy through their children due to reasons based on trusted people. And there is the daily mentorship which the founder can give to their children, as well as rotating their children among different job scopes within the family firm. There is also conflict created by competition and readiness of the founder and the successor. So the gap that we are trying to close in the study is to find out about the motivations of why successors will join as well as want to stay in their family business, succession planning in Singapore, the problems faced in Singapore, which are largely unspoken, where there's a culture of showing more positives than negatives. So normally people don't really talk about the problems that they face openly. And also we want to uncover the uncomfortable conflicts faced between the founders and the second generation, that is between the parents and their child. So the solutions that they have implemented to resolve the conflicts faced, as well as the successors' interest in advanced education, such as advanced degrees, as well as master degrees or even doctorate, and the applicability of this advanced education in developing their family business. Chapter 3 is on the research methodology that I used. So we took a look at the methodology, the research design, the data collection process, as well as the data collected. So the methodology I chose was a qualitative method, which included an interpretive case study through verbal interviews, extracting the meanings of the interviews in their social context with various perspectives, and in-depth analysis to form theories on family business. These are open-ended questions. The research design was a descriptive research design. The data collection process were 9 questions with 5 participants who are successors or second generation entrepreneurs. It was a one-to-one setting, an hour, and the interviews are recorded for only 10 minutes with the remaining conversation not recorded, which allows for privacy and the participants to talk freely about their own problems. The data collected was analyzed for patterns, influencing situations, as well as problems, and the results allowed for predictive analysis and prescriptive analysis. So chapter 4, we will go into the research questions and discussion. So there are 3 research questions that I came up with. So research question 1 was, why do second generation entrepreneurs in Singapore decide to join and stay in the family business? The first, we found out there were 6 reasons for this. They were first requested by their parents, and they were given incentives, carrots, and freebies, such as a free travel, as well as maybe free transport allowance. And thirdly, there is a family responsibility that the successors feel because their parents are aging, and also to protect the family legacy. In addition, they have an entrepreneurial personality coupled with passion as well as a skill set. This was reflected in their drive and entrepreneurial personality with a passion for work related to their experiences. They are also very immersed into the business. They stated that they have developed a passion for the trade after working for over 10 years. And the powerful CEO in waiting position that they are almost entitled to upon joining their family business comes with the opportunity to make decisions that can influence many stakeholders' lives. So research question 2. Okay, research question 2, we looked into what major problems did first and second generation entrepreneurs face during the succession transition process, and what solutions were implemented to ameliorate the situation. So there were 4 problems that we looked into, that we discovered there were no succession plans in the family businesses. Succession planning is crucial. So one of the interviewees, Thomas, the participants, he said that there is no communication about the successor. It's very frustrating, and my dad holds all the power. There is no indication of when he will retire, which seems like never. So yes, succession planning is an area I will talk to him. It is imperative to plan for the future, just like how we plan for every aspect of the growth of the business. Thirdly, the third problem is the absence and lack of communication between the founder as well as the successor. And fourthly, there was a problem of power retainment by the founder. So what solutions were used to ameliorate the situation? There were 2 main solutions. Firstly is to reduce conflict. All the second generation entrepreneurs agreed that they aim to reduce conflict as much as possible. And also they care for each other as family at the end of the day. So Jason, who was interviewed, mentioned that at the end of the day, we all know that we are family and we still see each other for yearly reunions and weekend gatherings at each other's houses. There is no talk of work, and we know that we work together for the sake of the family legacy and protecting each other. So research question 3. How can advanced education improve the development and growth of second generation family businesses? So most of the successors do not have time to attend courses beyond 1 week. So they have a preference for a 3-day seminar due to the daily commitments of the full-time working participants interviewed. Secondly, there was also a complacency and confidence that they think that they know more than others about their trade and specialization. But nonetheless, there is still consensus that further education and graduate courses can improve their skill set as well as value add to their family business development into the next decades. Lastly is to update their knowledge with ever-evolving research and theories, successful and failed case studies of other businesses to take note of the dangers, as well as navigate the undulating terrains and mountains of business. Okay, so this is the last chapter, chapter 5. We look into the summary of the findings as well as the conclusion. So the summary of the findings is that there is no succession plans. There is a lack of communication between the founders and their successors. There is also a desire to reduce conflict as they are family members. And in addition, there is very strong family values. There is interest and effort to attend further education while working for the family business. Most common is a 3-day course on management strategies and industry-specific practical training. Sternberg's triarchic theory of intelligence framework demonstrates vital competencies and skill of leaders that can be picked up by advanced education. Leadership can be nurtured and enhanced as academic lessons merge with the practical work in the family businesses. In conclusion, the second generation is more an inherited position than a choice. There are pros and cons. Family ties are a common goal for family businesses, and further education is one strategy that can be used to tackle dynamic business environments. Okay, that's all. Thank you for your time.
Okay, it seems that 20 minutes was too much for you. Okay, thank you. Thank you for your presentation. It took you much less than that. All right, so since we're done with your presentation, we're going to start asking questions. Professor Kingsley, would you like to start? And I will start the second round.
Okay, thank you very much. And Yee Wen, thank you very much for all the work that you put into this. I actually found it both interesting and enjoyable to read through your dissertation. So thank you for that. Yeah, so I've got a fair few questions. Some of a very practical nature, some of a more theoretical. So to start off with a sort of very practical question, really. Clearly, some of the problems and issues, or maybe many of the problems and issues, are actually to do not with the successor generation so much as the founder generation. And I'm wondering why it is that you didn't interview the founder generation or any people, anybody from that generation.
Okay, Professor, I mean this, I will answer this from a very practical point of view, because actually I myself, I wrote on second generation entrepreneurs because I myself, I'm also the successor of my family business. So my friends are, I have several friends who are very involved with their family businesses, and right now they are all at the succession transition stage. So I found it much easier to be able to gain access to them. And at the same time, if I know them well enough, they will be able to share with me problems within their family, which they wouldn't disclose normally to just an interviewer that they just met. So really, I wanted to get in depth into their problems.
That I can understand, absolutely. But did you actually try to contact their parents or even your parents to ask them for their views and perspectives? Did you actually try, or did you just decide not to try?
Okay, because yeah, Professor, that is a very good perspective that I could have looked at, but then I think the thesis is very limited because you know, that I have a limited amount of space to write. So I think that I wanted to focus on the second generation, and because I wanted to see from their perspective. This study is more of the perspective from the second generation entrepreneurs. Okay, thank you.
In terms of the sort of theoretical background and some of the literature review stuff, did you come across any thing in the literature about how companies grow, how companies go through a kind of a life cycle, the stages of growth of companies? Did you come across anything like that?
Yes, I think that maybe, Professor, you're referring to the market life cycle. So there is an introduction, there is a growth stage, maturity, and a decline.
That's the product life cycle. I'm talking about the life cycle of companies.
The life cycle of companies. Oh, I think because I'm more focused on the challenges, as well as also I place a little bit more focus on whether the further education will help to grow their family business. So I didn't really look into the growth.
I'll come back to that, but just as a matter of
Okay.
interest and for future reference, you might like to look at Greiner and his work on evolution and revolution in organizations as they grow. But that's for future reference. Looking back then at your research, was there anything that really struck you as surprising? Something that you found to be surprising?
Yes, because I found it very surprising that there was no communication between the founders and the successors. Some of them, they don't talk to their fathers at all. So even at work, the father refuses to talk to them, even at home. So I'm really surprised. Yeah, especially father and son. So I interviewed about, I think, probably 2 or 3 men, and they say that their father ignores them at work and at home as well. So the no communication, I mean, besides, it affects their work because it's kind of conflicting that they are working together. And while the son is about to be the successor of the company, yet they do not communicate. So how do they manage the business? That will pose a challenge.
And thinking about that, did you consider looking at it from the perspective of kind of a national culture angle, in the sense that, is that something quite specific to Chinese families in Singapore, or is it something more generalized that can be found in Europe or Latin America? Or, I mean, is that lack of communication Chinese as a cultural thing, or is it more generalized
I think more research needs to be done on this, because there are various reports that I gather, because the founders are women, so it's a mother with their daughter's successor. They do communicate. Some, like myself, my dad is a male, and I'm the daughter. So yes, he do communicate, but less. It's like only on WhatsApp. So, but for father and son, they don't communicate at all. So I think that it probably more research needs to be done on this. It probably is not a national culture, and I don't want to generalize it as a gender issue. So right.
Okay, thank you. And looking back, this is probably my final question. Looking back at the 6 months that you spent doing this research, is there anything that you would do differently from the beginning?
Yes, actually, if I had the opportunity and more time, I would gather more participants. I feel that 5 is not enough. 5 is an odd number. I would gather maybe 5 male and 5 female, and I would broaden my scope of companies. Yes, so I would love to have more time to do more research, so that I think it will be more accurate in my findings.
Okay, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Professor.
Thank you, Professor Kingsley. Now, I suppose it's my turn, and then Dr. Hubert is gonna finish with his questions. There's something that it's really weird, if I may say so. One company was found in 1960. 3 of the companies that were actually the participants were from founded in the 70s, and there is one company in 2000, right? So these, I mean, the participants representing these companies. I'm talking about the foundation here. Okay.
Yes.
And you highlighted the fact that also in your thesis that they have international activities, either in the region, Southeast Asia, or somewhere else. And my question is, do they have a business plan?
Business plan. Business plan in terms of expansion locally?
In terms of
Or-
business. So they operating the last 45 years, 50 years. Why I'm asking you this? Because I assume that they have some kind of a business plan, even though they are small, let's say medium-sized enterprises. But as long as they have a business plan, they need also to have a succession plan. In the States, I mean, I heard this in a conference many years back, that the most successful managers lying down in the cemetery, which means someone else is going to take over your position. And since we're talking about family businesses, most probably it's going to be a member of your family. It's going to be your son, daughter, niece, I don't know, someone else. Okay. So do you think that this has to do with cultural issues? So it's my question is very close to what Professor Kingsley was asking you before, or it's a general issue that you can actually find in Australia, in the US, in Europe, or in Africa, I don't know.
Okay, so Professor, that is a very good question. So it brings me back to the point, right, where I think that, let me have it here. Yeah, so here I made a point that okay, so because I read on existing literature, and I feel that this problem exists in the Asia culture, where there is a culture of like maybe in China as well, and some parts of Asia, where there is a culture of showcasing more positives than negatives. So people don't really, okay, then people hide a lot of their information, and they don't really openly speak of their plans. So you are right. This also is interrelated to having a business plan. They probably do
that's
not
why I'm
have
asking.
a
Because
business
usually,
plan.
if you're operating in the last 40 or 50 years, is not by chance, which means you're doing something the right way, and you're making your business competitive. So that's why actually you exist in the marketplace. So as long as you exist in the marketplace, you need to think that who's going to be the next person to manage the business, to actually be the leader of the business, not just to manage the business. I'm asking you this because I found this this article, and it's was published in 2017, and it's about succession in family business, multi-source perspectives from Journal of Small Business and Enterprise Development. It's an Emerald journal, and there is a research done similar to yours. It's qualitative mainly to 40 businesses in Australia. However, the findings are a bit different. That's why I wanted to ask you if the cultural aspect affects in a different way the findings. Okay.
Yes.
Because this is very important. It's very important.
Yes, but Professor, although there is no formal succession plan, there is an informal succession plan.
Yeah, of
So
course.
normally there is only one successor in the family business. So they do know who the founder would like to pass on to. It's just that they don't openly say it. So sometimes they threaten the successor, saying that, no, I'm going to sell the business. I'm going to get a quotation and value the business, and you're not going to take over. So although there is no formal, but there is an informal.
Okay, so my suggestion, having this in mind, if you're going to plan to revise or to, let's say, to improve the content, it would be nice to have some articles presenting similar topics from other, let's say, parts of the world. Could be from Australia, could be from the States, could be from, I don't know, from somewhere else. So to show also the cultural aspects, the differences, because the one that I found also shows that communication is a bit sensitive, but shows that advanced education is not the most important thing, for example. Okay. So it's a bit different.
Sorry,
so
Professor, may I ask if they have a formal succession plan in Australia?
Some of them, yes, because we're talking about small and medium enterprises. Some others don't, you know. That's why I'm saying that I understand that the founder considers that it's my baby, it's my, you know, it's my business, and he or she is trying to take care of it. And, you know, it's difficult to delegate this authority to someone else.
So, Professor, actually, that is the reason, right, why I do my research on this topic, because knowing that there is no formal succession plan, right, I hope that my study can contribute to Singapore family business consultants, and they know that there is a problem, so they will try to solve it and have a plan for SMEs as well, not just large corporations.
I totally agree with what you're saying, but can you think happening this kind of, you know, behavior or attitude in a multinational company?
I believe multinational companies, a lot of them may they do have a formal succession plan,
Yeah,
but that is not
exactly,
my
because the
scope.
HR department needs to organize this, because someone is going to leave the company either because of his or her retirement or for any other reason. So we need to find someone to replace this person. Okay, and in your thesis also you have findings for each research question, and then you have main findings for each research question. Why you doing this? Why there is you have two, let's say, parts of your thesis, presenting the findings and then the main findings?
Oh, because Professor, I would just this is more detailed, so I go into every research question to answer exactly what I wrote, and then this will be just a summary of the maybe the crucial point.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Okay, because sometimes the findings. I was expecting to see something, from the qualitative, research, to see also some numbers to make it more quantitative if possible. 4 out of 5 shows something, or 5 out of 5 shows something. It's 100% based on your sample, which is a small sample, but it's okay. It's your sample. Okay, right. That's a major question for me. And the last question from my side is what a consultant can do with your results. A business consultant.
Okay. Yes, so I think in several
the
points.
Implications, what you have found. If someone is going to read what you have found and your conclusion, what can actually do in Singapore with this?
Okay, so I think there are companies who would target family businesses. So consultants, because I think SMEs do need consultants to help them improve their business processes, as well as to plan for the future growth and development of the businesses. So as the founders are the main person who started the business, but as the economy changes and Singapore transits from manufacturing sector to service and now to technology, we do need the help of professionals to help family businesses streamline their processes and to improve on their profit margins and grow internationally. So there are a few problems here where they can come in. That is, firstly, no succession plans. Whereas in comparison to current literature, we find that listed companies as well as large corporations usually have a succession plan for an external CEO most of the time, who voted in to take over the business operations, while the family businesses stay as shareholders. They do not take charge of the day-to-day operations. That is different from SMEs, family businesses, where the successor normally is the CEO. So I think the importance of succession plan is highlighted in my study. So it will be good that family business consultants can look into this area to have a proposal for SMEs and to sell a plan that, look, we are going to sit down with the founder and the successor and walk through a plan with you on communicate.
It's going to be the bridge that will bring together the two, let's say, sides.
Yes, and I think one of our participants also mentioned this, that he hoped that even consultants can sit down with the founders, because a lot of time the founders don't know the problems related to not having succession plans, not communicating with their successors. So with someone as a middle person to bridge the gap, that will be good for everyone.
Yeah, consultants are good, but it's not for free anyway. So, okay. Anyway. All right. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. Now, I suppose it's time for Dr. Hubert to ask questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Hadjidis. Well, being the last, you leave me with little content to ask. But I only have one left, yes, that you partially have answered, but from the perspective of the consultant. But now I would like to ask you directly, yes, what advices would you provide to the second generation family business successors? You personally.
Yes, personally, okay, so there is a reason why, besides looking at the conflicts and solutions, which is something that we want to find out, but also I look into the how advanced education can help to grow family businesses as well, because I personally feel that after 10 years of working in a family business, theories and case studies and academic has evolved so much that it's very important that these successors update themselves with the knowledge, because I looked into 2 leadership frameworks in my study. I feel that leadership can be nurtured, nature and nurtured. So they themselves within their work, they can learn leadership qualities from the founders as well as through leading a team of people. But at the same time, they can also look into leadership graduate courses and commit to the courses and see how they can learn and develop their leadership skills to bring their family businesses to another level.
And the last one, yes, in the same way, what advices would you provide to the founders of family businesses?
Yes, so I think the founders of family businesses, they are really busy, and for them who have started the business, their impression is that second generation, their successors don't know anything. Even after working for 10 years, they will never know as much as the founder. So for them, maybe it's a little bit of overconfidence. I would think that in this case, this is where I feel that going back to Professor Dimitrios' question, right? I feel that that is where family business consultants can promote their plans and approach SMEs to help them and give them the benefits of writing a formal succession plan, as well as to do programs related to the successor as well as the founder, and for them to go through a plan together to see how they can work together better and to improve the family business through the next generation.
Okay, thank you very much for the answer. There is nothing more I have to question.
Thank you, Professor.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, all of you, for your questions, and Mrs. Tan for your answers. I think we concluded with stage 2, and I mean we're done with stage 2, so we need to move to the next stage, which is let's say the discussion of the 3 of us about your thesis and how you did in general, and decide on your let's say grade based on the scale that is given in the procedures of the MBA thesis. If there's something else that you would like to ask, please go ahead, Ms. Tan.
No, actually, Professor, I have nothing to ask, but I would just like to thank everyone, all my professors for teaching me and guiding me through all the lessons. And I think that it has been very helpful, and it helped me to now run my family business. So thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. That's nice of you. Very nice. Thank you. So I suppose since you mentioned that you, because of your family obligations and everything, you have to leave this meeting. Is there anyone else who would like to ask questions to Ms. Tan? Okay. So feel free to leave the meeting and we're done with you, at least your presentation.
Okay.
And then
thank you,
we'll move on to the next stage for your grading of your thesis. Okay.
You're mute, Dimitrios.
Yes, please. So all of us we're back. Okay. All right. So the committee made a decision and regarding the grade of Mrs. Tan, and it's a unanimous decision. So we decided to give her a pass with major revisions for her MBA thesis. And this means that we reached the end of the process. I don't know if someone else from the administrative staff would like to ask questions to us, or is there something else that we need to do at this stage?
Doris, can you help us here? It's all clear?
We don't have further comments.
Okay.
It's all clear. Yeah, just to communicate that to the coordinator of the MBA thesis, and that's it. Yes, thank you so much for all your work.
Okay, thank you very much for your support.
Thank you very much, Dimitrios. Thank you very much. And
thank you very much, Professor Kingsley and Dr. Hubert. And Have a nice evening.
You too.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
It was very nice
take
talking to
care.
you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.